Hey up everybody, Magpie Gaming here, and in this video we're going to take a look at a blog post that DICE have put out regarding Battlefield 5, and I'm going to dissect it a bit and go through some of the things that have been said in this. And this is regards to feedback from the alpha that we've recently had for Battlefield 5, and it's looking at some of the things that they learned during the alpha, some of the things that they want to change now that they've had that, some of the things that they have changed since the alpha. And I think one of the overriding messages from the alpha was that it was a complete success. Everybody that played it seemed to really enjoy what they were playing. Now, of course, people that got to play it had a vested interest in this game. You know, the people that have followed the game for a long time, the YouTubers, influencers, people like that. So it was kind of a select crowd anyway, but still the feedback was good. It was positive on the whole, and any of the criticism that was levelled at the game was mostly constructive and is stuff that they can work with. So people have come back and says maybe you need to change this, maybe this needs to change a little bit, and they're looking at all of those things right now. Now they've gone ahead and told us that there will be an open beta of the game in September, around the beginning of September. They've also said in the blog post that there will be more internal and external testing to come before then. So I would assume that we're going to get a closed beta at some point, maybe even another closed alpha to do a little bit more testing. So it's a little bit akin to the community test environment that we had for Battlefield 1, kind of like turn it on for a couple of days maybe and then turn it off. I think that would be a good way to go about things. So they say that there was two categories that they've basically split all of the feedback into, and that is technical and gameplay. I'm going to look at the technical side of things to begin with. One of the things that they looked at very closely was how people like to join a game in Battlefield 5. Now there are two ways of doing that. There was the quick match button and there was the server browser. Now for me personally in Battlefield 1 I've always just done quick match. I've very rarely done the server browser thing. Server browser was definitely something that I used in Battlefield 4 because I was able to save my favourite servers, and we had the custom servers back then. Those are still a thing of the past and it doesn't look like they're returning in Battlefield 5, so I would probably always do the quick match thing. Unless I'm matched with some friends of mine, then I will join their games. But they say that there was some issues with the matchmaking configuration within the game. Some people were getting error messages, some people were putting their server locations that increased their latency, some people just couldn't join at all. So they've said that this is something that they're working on to smooth out, and obviously alphas are going to come up with problems like this. This is the whole reason that they have them, so that they can fix things like this. And I've always found that the matchmaking and the server browsing, in fact, in Battlefield 1 has always been very well, it's been really good. So I would assume that they'll have this fixed fairly soon. I think by the time we get maybe another alpha or a beta, it will be more or less sorted by then. Said that there were some issues between matches where you was unable to stay in the squad that you were in. They said that they're going to look at this to try and keep that together so that the squad that you start in is the one that you then go into the next game in. So that's a good little bonus. I don't think that's something that really worked in Battlefield 1. I don't think that was ever a thing in Battlefield 1 as far as I know. Unless you were matched with friends, then that was obviously something that happened. But I think if you just joined a random squad when you were put into the next map, you didn't stay with that squad. I think that'd be a useful little feature. They also said that it gave them an insight into the kind of crashes that this game will create on people's systems. Obviously, as I say, it's an alpha, it wasn't perfect, so there were crashes and server stability issues and game client issues. So again, these things will looked at, they gather all the data and hopefully have all of that down to rare incidents once the game is released. Even Battlefield 1 crashes from time to time, but it's very, very rare. So I think that's what they want to do with Battlefield 5, is get the crashes down to be as rare and infrequent as possible. And they say that they're currently hard at work on improving the queue system, minimising toxicity within the game. There's a potential for a non-cross-faction chat room that they're looking at, and squashing other bugs that were in the game. And the toxicity within the game is something that will need to be handled this time. Anybody can play Battlefield 1 and the chat screen is just full of people swearing and cursing, saying things that aren't nice, so getting told to F off in a game, yeah, fair enough, I can take that. But when you've got people going, they're saying, I want your family to get cancer and things like that, that kind of thing needs to be stamped out, and it is about time that they started coming down on people like that. Now recently Rainbow Six has said that it will instantly ban people that are slurring other people within the game. I'm not sure how that's going to work and how well it will work, but something like that is there's a need for that to be implemented in Battlefield. It's a game. Yes, tempers run high sometimes if you're not having a good game or if things aren't going your way, but at the end of the day, it is just a game. It's enjoyment. It's there to be enjoyed. So, and I don't want my enjoyment ruined by other people that can't take being killed a few. If you kill somebody 2 or 3 times in a row, they start to get pissed off and start to, get verbal within the chat and things like that. This is something that needs sorting out within Battlefield. It's never really been tackled at all. So hopefully this time it's something that DICE are going to look at. I realise that it's very hard to police this kind of thing, but maybe some way of reporting people, an easier way of reporting them would be a better thing. If somebody's repeatedly cursing at you in the chat, saying things that aren't very nice, maybe you should be able to create a log of that, send it into DICE, and maybe that person gets a 24-hour ban or a 48-hour ban, or if they deem it really serious, they get a complete ban. Something like that needs to happen and needs to come along, and I think that would create a friendlier environment. It's not going to stamp it out completely, but at least you would know that if somebody said things like that to you, then you know that they're gonna, there's gonna be a consequence for that at the end of the day. So all being well, they will look at that quite seriously this time. Now we're getting into the gameplay side of things, and they want to stress in this blog post that what you got to saw in the alpha was a tiny sliver of the complete package that is Battlefield 5. Of course, it was just one map, one mode, so there is a lot more of this game to come. Not really sure how many maps are going to be on at launch. I have no information on that at the moment. There's been rumours that it'll be 6 to 8 maps. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And for gameplay, they split it down into a couple of sections. So the first section is revives, and they say that the revive system has been refined in this game from previous ones. They've said that after the alpha they've adjusted both the medic revive and the buddy revive. If you don't know what the buddy revive is, this is basically anybody that is in a squad is able to revive somebody else within their squad, even if you're not a medic. Now this is just a basic revive. I think it only gives you around 25 or 50% health, and it does take a lot longer than reviving with a medic. But I think it's a good option to have within the game. You can do a basic patch up of your fellow soldier and get them on the way. But of course a medic does it properly and does it a lot faster. But I think it's a good addition to the game. They said that it felt a little bit clunky and that there were a few delays in the animations of things like that, so they've fixed some of that and they're still working on it. So they've said that they've made the buddy revive 2.5 seconds faster, and they will assess whether it needs adjusting more with when there's more testing of the game. And they also say that they're aware of some issues with a revive where it would take time before a player could initiate a revive and the icon tended to be delayed on the screen, and they say they're actively working on that. For ammunition, there's a limited amount of ammunition on the game. You've got to go to ammo stations to pick up ammo, or you can loot it from downed soldiers, but overall it's limited and you have to be careful with your ammo. And they said that generally people seem to like this way of play within the game. There wasn't unlimited ammo there like there is like Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. And they say this is something that they're trying to balance with the amount that you launch in the game, with the amount that is available and where it's available. And they just say overall there's balancing that needs to be done with this going forward. For reinforcements, if you don't know what reinforcements are, they're basically special things that your squad can call in. And for Battlefield 5 in the alpha you had the Churchill crocodile tank and the V1 rocket, and I think once you reach a certain point with your squad, with your scoring, you're able to call one of these reinforcements in. And they've said that it was a little bit unbalanced. The V1 rocket in Conquest was way too easy to call in and use, and they say that they're going to turn that down a little bit, do a little bit more balancing with that. There's going to be further balancing made to TTK, which is time to kill. They said that people either loved it or hated it. They said that some people felt that they were killed way too quick, others felt that it was just right. So they say that there's more tweaking to be done with this. For the maps and modes in the closed alpha, it took place on the Arctic Fjord, and there was Conquest mode and 2 modes from Grand Operations that were available. There was Airborne and Breakthrough, and as you can see from the picture on the screen, they did telemetry of this map whilst it was live, and they said that it was made and designed to have 2 clear lines of engagement between enemies and objectives. And basically this telemetry helps them to work out what are the hot points on the map, maybe where things could be placed better, maybe where things could be changed. And I think these pictures are really good actually. They do give you a clear insight of where the hot spots elsewhere on the game where the vast majority of the battles took place. For gunplay and weapon balancing, this is a big one, and this is something that will be tweaked and balanced all throughout the life of the game, but of course they want to get like a base balance right before the game is released. And they said that they were thrilled to see that people really enjoyed the gunplay within Battlefield. I don't think it's changed too much from Battlefield 1, I think the gunplay in Battlefield 1 was quite good anyway, and I think they've just tried to improve on that. But they've also said that where you shoot is exactly where your bullet will go. You know, there isn't going to be massive spread in the weapons. Said that they've adjusted the recoil of some weapons, they'll adjust the damage given out by some, and as I say, that's something that will be tweaked as the game goes along through its life cycle. And that is pretty much it for this blog post. I will of course put a link in the description down below so that you can go and read the full thing. They do say that there will be a completely new build of Battlefield 5 available at Gamescom, which I think is in August, early August. So it could be that once we've had Gamescom we might have a closed beta just after that so that people can get in and see what changes have been made and get to play the game overall. So I'm hugely looking forward to this game. I'm really saddened that I wasn't in the alpha, but at the time I wasn't signed up to the Battlefield Insider. I believed that I was before that, but I actually wasn't. And the chances of me getting a key anyway, just signing up a few days before, was slim. But you know, those that were in have made some really good gameplay videos and I've enjoyed watching a lot of them. So hopefully I might get in on the next beta. I'd really like to give this game a go before it's released, but either way, I have pre-ordered for October the 11th. That is when we are launching for this game and I cannot wait. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.